Friends, so in today's class we are going to understand how to install Informatica MDM 10.1. So as you know that for installing the complete Informatica MDM, we need to integrate the three applications. So first of all, we need some Oracle database or some database server. Then we need an application server, and then after installing this database server and application server, we can go for installation of what we say Informatica MDM, right? So let's start our journey and let's try to start the installation. So before installation, let's create an installation steps. So here let's try to understand what are the different databases which will be supported and how to install it. Okay, so in the first step we have to install database server. So database server, if I am telling, then we can install any of this database server like Oracle. We can install DB2, and in 10.1 MS SQL is also supported. Earlier only two databases were supported, Oracle and DB2, but in a current version MS SQL is also supported. Okay, so we are going to use Oracle database for our installation, database server for this installation. Okay, and before this, here let's write like Informatica MDM 10.1 installation steps. That's a very easy. Let's try to understand. So first of all, we have to install a Oracle database server. So that's a very simple, like how do we install any database? So likewise you have to install it. So let's try to install this Oracle database server first. So how to install it? Let me locate this folder, Oracle database. So here I have the setup. So just click on the setup. You can get this what you say, you can get this setup from Oracle website because this is open source, so it can easily be available. Okay, so just download it and start the steps with the clicking on setup. So it will take some time, so let's wait. Are you sure to continue? Yes, click on yes, and just unselect it. I don't want to get any security update from Oracle, so just unselect it and just let's select yes. Now select on next, then next. So here this is pointing to the default location E. So do we have a drive? Let's check it. Yeah, we have the E drive, but I don't want to install it in E drive because if E will be corrupted and all the things can go on, right? So let's try to install it inside C drive. So let's browse. And if we are creating here a new drive, that is C app, then here you can see the respective database location has been changed. Okay, because we have changed the home directory. So we have made a C app, then see this, then this. So all this has been changed. Now let's take a global database name as ORCL. So this is default. So let's take the default one. And here let's take administrative password as a system. So we usually take a system. You can take anything, but we are taking system here. So let's note it down. This is all the value. So for what happened here? Yeah. So here we have taken a database name as a equal to ORCL. User, you know that will be sys by default user, and password we have taken as a system. So note these all information. Now go ahead. So this is saying the password is not meeting the what we say minimum recommendation, so don't worry, go ahead and let's click on yes. Now click on finish. So here actual Oracle database installation will start, so it will take some time. Let's wait for that. Let me put on hold or pause it. So guys, let's see like how much percentage of installation has been completed. So we can see that this is throwing one error, the following feature could not be installed. So let's close it, that's not a problem. And Oracle net configuration sessions failed. So here we can see the issue has been resolved and it is about to complete. So let's wait for some time. So we can see that our installation will be complete very soon. So just ignore this error if you are getting. So once this database installation will be completed, then we will go for a table space creation. So we will see that we have to create CMX data, CMX temp, and CMX index table space for storing a kind of data index or temporary data. So the next action item will be that we have to create the table spaces. So for that you will get a script from Informatica MDM installation documents. Okay, so just we have to modify that script. So already we have the script, let me open it. So this is the table script we have. So let me control A, control C. So this type of a script you will get from Informatica. So here we have to specify the VARA data, what we say, VARA data VARCL location, this location. Let's try to find out this location. Administration, go to C and then app, that was C, yeah, E app. Then we have actually installed in C, so we'll go in C app, then we'll go in VARA data, then VARCL. So that part we have to give, I think. Let me verify it. So we have to give app administrator VARA VARCL. So let me verify app, so admin VARCL. So this location we have, and the second location we do have C VARA data, then VARCL. So at this location we have to create the this what we say, table spaces. So let's change the location. So here create big file table space CMX data, this one, C app VARA data VARCL, this size. So this complete script you will get from Informatica. Just we need to change this location. Okay, and here if you want you can change the name. So just we are using the default name like CMX data, CMX index, and CMX temp. Okay, so our this script is ready, just we are waiting to complete this installation. So this will be our next action item. So let me pause it. Yeah, so let's see that what happened to the installation. So here you can see our installation has been completed successfully. Okay, so here you can see the detail. Now press OK. and here we can see enterprise manager, this. So the installation has been successful. Now close it. Okay, and let's verify it. So for that, go to command prompt, write SQL plus / no log. So here now we can see we are able to connect. So Oracle has been installed successfully. Now let's connect as a sysdb. Call this as sysdb. So we are able to connect. That's also fine, right? Now what to do? Yeah. So now just connect with sysdb and try to execute this step one by one. So just the second step, what we are going to follow. Just let me come to here. So the next step we are going to follow is, so first we have installed what we say, Oracle database. After installing Oracle database, we are going to create table spaces. This is second step you are going to follow, right? So let's try to create a table space. For that, just connect with Oracle database and connect as a sysdb. And now let's try to run this script. So let's first run the first script. So this will create big file table space cmx data. So this will create a cmx data table space at this location, size this, that's fine. So let's paste it, and now let's try to hit run. So this is running in backend. Once this will be created, we will see a message like table space created successfully, something like this. So just wait and let's create this. So this here you can see table space created. Now let's create the second table space. So that is for index. So this is cmx. The name of this table space is cmx index. So this will store the information about indexes. And what the first we had created cmx data. So which will actually hold the data. Okay. So now we are going to create the table space for cmx index. Okay. Now let me paste it. So here we are going to create cmx index. Now press enter. So just you have to remember one thing, just here you have to change the location here only. Okay, and you can take this default name, and all the things you have no need to change, just you can take the default value. Okay, so just change this base location directory and copy and paste the same script, so it will create the table space. So we have created this index table space as well. Now let's try to create this temp table space. So let's paste it. Let's enter. So this is creating temp table space. So this temp table space will be utilized once we will run any job. So I know that at the time of at the runtime, it will require some spaces to do the calculations or some processing. So on that time, that temp space will be utilized, and after running the job, once the job will be completed, so this temp space will be released. That will be truncated, or that will be what we say, evacuated by system. Okay. So we have created a temp table space. Let me save it. So here we created our second step. Now let's try to create a what we say, a schema. Create a schema. So first of all, we'll try to create a CMX system schema. Then we'll try to create a CMX ORS, or we'll try to create a practice. We will try to create a practice schema in which we can do the practice. And third one, we need to create a sample. So within sample, we will have some sample code. Okay. So for creating this, we need to execute this command. First of all, we have to change our location. So for creating this, we need what we say, database files. So that database files you receive from Informatica for creating this what we say different schema. So for creating this schema, we need to write a kind of this type of command zip underscore ant dot bat you can write, and create system, create underscore system. So this thing you have to first run, then you have to run zip underscore ant, then import system. So it will import all the metadata tables. Okay, so for CMS system we are going to follow this. For practice, this is a user defined ORS or a schema. So we can write like same zip underscore ant dot bat, and here in place of create system we are going to write as a create ORS. Okay, and after creating the schema we need to import the metadata. Create zip underscore ant dot bat, then we have to import the metadata, import underscore ORS. Okay, and for sample we are going to write the kind of zip underscore ant dot bat, then create a schema. It's create a schema. So let's try to create this zip underscore ant dot bat first. So for that we need to have what we say database files which you will receive from the Informatica along with the MDM software. So I have some sample. Let me navigate to this hub server, then bin. So here I am. So accordingly, once you will get the database file, so you have to navigate to this location, server bin. Then here you can open a command prompt, and here we can fire this particular command like zip underscore ant dot bat and create system. So just we are trying to create this system CMX system schema. So this is a user defined this is a system defined schema. Okay, system defined schema which will only hold metadata information. It will not hold any business data. Okay, it will not hold any business data. It will only hold metadata information. Like if you are creating any table from Informatica side, so the name of the table, the columns, the information about columns, the information about indexes, right? So these all are the, we know that the metadata information for a table, right? So these all the informations will be stored in CMX system. And suppose you are getting like a employee name ABC something, employee address Delhi something, India something, or USA something. So this particular record will be stored in the this user defined schema like practice and whatever you are creating. Okay, so this user defined schema we try to create to do the POC or to do the practicals. Okay, so within that actual business data will be stored. So let's create the CMX system, create system. So zip underscore ant dot bat, then create underscore system, press enter. So why I'm getting the error, let me pause it. So for the time being actually I don't have the actual database file, so I'm getting the error while creating this schema. So what we can do for time being, we can do one thing, we can just create a user, and once our MDM file will be extracted, then we will get the actual database file from there also. Okay, so we can use that file to create the schema, actual schema. So meanwhile let me create some dummy user so that I can use when it requires in the installation. So how to create dummy user? So let me close this and we will create this all later. So let's put this on hold and just let's create on CMX system, but because that will be required at the time of installation of data sources in JBoss. So let me create one temporary user. Control C, SQL plus no love. Now con this as this DBA. Now let me create a user. Create user CMX underscore system identified by bang bang cmx bang. Missing or invalid option. What option missing? Create username identified by username identified by password. Looking good. Missing or invalid option. Create username is identified by this. Here we are doing the mistake. Create username like this. Let me create a other user. Create user1 identified by user1. So user created, that means I had given the wrong what we say options here. So let me check same password, that is a cmx system itself. So here you can see user has been created. Now grant DBA to cmx underscore system. So we have granted the DBA. Now we can use this user for the time being, and later once we will get the extracted file from the Informatica, then we can create this actual one schema. Okay, so now we have created this temporary user. Now we can directly jump to application server. Okay, now we can directly jump to the application server installation, and we will come back again for creating this schema, but for the time being let's concentrate on this application server. So as we know that we are going to install the application server. So the three application servers are supported by Informatica MDM. So the first one is JBoss. We can install JBoss. We can then install a WebLogic, or we can install a WebSphere. So we can install any one of the application server. So in our installation we are going to install the JBoss. So let's start the installation of JBoss. So here we are going to install JBoss 6.4. So this is supported by what we say Informatica MDM 10.1, and as we know that here we had installed Oracle database 11G R2, this one. Okay, so minimum we should have 11G for this Informatica MDM 10.1, and here we are going to use application server as JBoss, and we are going to install JBoss 6.4. okay, so let's start it. So here we have the installation folder JBoss 6.4. So just click on this. Okay, accept the license, and here let's create a folder. So JBoss 6.4 already we do have, right? So if you want we can rename it like let's remove it and let's try to create a JBoss 6.4 a new folder. So JBoss 6.4 we are creating a new folder. On top of that we are going to do the installation. Okay, so now let's select this folder, go to zip drive, then we are installing in JBoss 6.4. okay, next, yes, now next, and here we need to provide the JBoss admin password. Okay, so let's pass the password admin @123, admin @123. So this password will be used to log into JBoss console, admin console. No, use default one. Now is here select the standalone mode, and here let's see, take a default, and here use a performed advanced configuration. Here we'll install a JDBC driver and data source. Now click on next. So here in database, let's select Oracle, because we are going to install Oracle, and here we need a driver jar file. Okay, so this jar file will help us to communicate between Oracle database and this application server. Okay, so this jar file is also open source, that you can easily get it. So just you can go to Oracle database, Oracle website, and you can get from there. So I've already downloaded that jar file. So already I have, so just I have to select this OJDBC 6.4. so just for 10.1, just try to use OJDBC 6.jar. okay, and here let's keep all the things default, that's not a problem. Now let's give the name of the Oracle data source as a Oracle data source. Any name you can give, that's not a problem. And here let's use the username and password. So already we have created a user CMX system, remember it. Okay, and let's provide the password. So we have taken the same password, CMX system, right? And here at the time of installation of the Oracle, we have taken Oracle SID as a ORCL default value we have taken. Okay, and we know that here we need to change this port. We know that this takes a 1521 as a default port, right? And here let's take Oracle host name. So here we can write like a localhost, because we have installed on the localhost, right? So after passing this all the information, just click on test database connection, so that you can verify like what the credentials you are passing is all are correct or not. So here you can see that this is saying database connection was successful, so that's fine, that all the credentials are good. Now you can click on next, and now click on next. So here you can see JBoss installation has been started, and the respective what we say files and folder will be created here. So let's wait for 1 minute only, it will not take much time. Now let's click on next. So here it will take some time, like 1 or 2 minutes approx, to do the complete installation of a JBoss application. So after this we are going to edit some what we say JBoss existing properties for making compatible like JBoss with Informatica MDM. So we need to override some existing properties of the JBoss. Once the JBoss installation will be done, then we'll go for that. So let's see that JBoss has been installed completely or not. So here you can see application server successfully started. Okay, so that means installation has been completed. Now click on next, and done. Okay, so if you want to test it like if your installation has been done successfully or not, then we can go and we can test it. So how to test it? Before that, you have to run your application. And how to run your application? So we can do one thing. Here to go JBoss configuration and fire this command in the bin folder. This command you will also get from Informatica MDM for starting the JBoss in a standalone mode. So let's go to my computer. Go to JBoss installation directory, then go to bin, and here let's open a command prompt, and here let's try to fire this command. So once you fire that, your JBoss will be started. If that has been installed successfully, so that should start. So here we can see that services are lazy or something, that means JBoss has been started. So let's check it from the admin console. So let's place it like localhost 8080, press enter, then click on admin console. And here provide a username as a admin. Remember we had given a password as a admin@123. Okay, so here you should log in successfully. If your application has been installed successfully, then you will be able to log in. Now come to deployment, configurations, and come to data source. And what the data source we had created, like this Oracle data source. Here you can see the name of this Oracle data source is Oracle data source. Come to connection and test connection. So here you can see that our connection is successful. So our application server is able to communicate with database with the help of OJDBC jar file what we had given at the time of installation. So everything is fine till now. So let's close it. Let's close this also, and let's try to write some properties of the JBoss. So let me open in Notepad++. So here to go, so we have to go a standalone config.bat. Okay, so where this is, so go to your JBoss installation directory, like this is JBoss 6.4, and within that go to standalone, then config, then here we can see a standalone full, but which file we need to find out, a standalone config. So standalone config is not here. Go to bin, and here you can see the standalone config.bat is available. Okay, just open it, edit it, and here you can see this 256, this particular properties we have to remove it. Just put rem this, and now we have to add one property which will be provided by Informatica MDM itself. So just add this in place of that. Sorry, where this is, yeah. So we have to comment this, we have to add this after commenting that. So already we have commented it, right? So now copy it and paste it. So we have to add this one, this one. Okay, and here we need to add 3 more commands or more properties you can see. So here to go, and let's copy these 3 properties, and we have to place this within this, just below this, and save it. Okay, so here 2 things we had to change in standalone config.bat, like we had to change, we had to remove this, we have to comment this, and we had to add this in place of that, and then below this particular below this particular property we had to add this extra properties. So just we have added. Okay, that's fine. Now we can go for the next step. So the next step is that, so in installation step, what thing we are doing? So JBoss 6.4 installation done, right? Now we are in the process of what we say, setting up the properties for a standalone.config.bat and a standalone -full.xml properties we are going to check this in JBoss, right? We are in the process of achieving this. So already we have changed the property of this standalone config.bat, and now we are going to change this one, standalone full.xml. Okay, so let's go to the location where this is, go to standalone, then go to configuration, and here you can see standalone full.xml. Just edit it. Okay, and the first properties we have to change, just try to find 300 and replace with 360. So Control F, 300, find next So here you can see the 300 and replace it with the 3600. Okay, default timeout. Now save it. Now the second is that just try to search this particular security real and try to search this within this standalone config standalone full XML. So here we can see, let's remove this. Fine. So the second step done. Now the third step is that let's try to find out this particular, let's try to search this particular property within this. So let's try to find out here it is. Now just press enter here, and here we have to add this particular properties. So these properties will be provided by Informatica MDM. Just we have to write at the appropriate location. Okay. So the third part we have done. Now in the fourth part, let's try to search this root logger. So here you can see root logger. So then after file, just copy this. Just after file, here you can see info. Here you can see kind of console, file and sync. So this part just we have to copy after the file. So after the file, just we have to copy this part. Okay. So we are done with all configuration changes. Here you can see, and now we can go and we can restart our JBoss application. Let's go and restart the JBoss application. So how to start JBoss application? So in C, start JBoss application with the below command. So first we install this JBoss 6.4, then we set up the properties, then we are starting with the help of this command. So how to start the JBoss? First go to JBoss directory, then go to bin, and here it's press shift and right click mouse, just open command prompt here at this location, and now let's try to copy this command and run it. So it will start execution for it will start the application server in the standalone mode. Okay. So this is started. So finally we install the database server, then we install the application server, and also we do the respective setting. Now we can go for installation of Informatica MDM. Informatica MDM 10.1 installation. So the prerequisites we have completed. So now we can go for the next step. Okay. So here first we are going to install the MRM server. MRM server. Here we will have three servers: MRM server, Cleanse My server, and the third one is resource kit. So first of all, we are going to install this MRM server. So this will create the MDM hub. Okay. So this is a main important one. So we means most of the time we face the issue here. Most of the time your script will fail. Okay. So don't worry, we will try to debug it. So let's try to install this. So within this installation we need what is a database schema, actual database schema we need. Okay, like let me close it. So this database schema will be required, like what I had put it on hold, like create system this. So just a dummy value I have created. Okay, so let me extract this what is a schema, and first of all let me extract the what is it, this Informatica MDM MRM file, and then we will try to create this. Okay, so already I have started the JBoss. Now go to the directory of the your what is the Informatica MDM set of file. So go to here, Informatica MDM 10.1. Here go to MRM server. Okay, now click on this hub install. so it will take some time to extract. So once we will install it, then we have to drop this CMX system ORS, right? CMX system user, because that is a not actual user. That is a simple user we have created from backend, right? So we have to create a user according to the Informatica MDM command prompt, like cp underscore on create system, like this. Okay. So actually we don't have the database file now, so that's why we are facing the issue. So let's first extract the Informatica MDM. From there we can get the database file, and from there we can create the latest what is a schema h per required. So the step is that first you have to install Oracle, then create a table space, then try to create the what you say, a schema, like all a schema like CMX system, CMX ORS, any practice ORS or any training ORS, right? Or then create the sample ORS or sample schema. After creating this, you can go to application server, just install the application server, then override the properties of the application server, then start it, and now you can directly come to Informatica MDM installation. So here first of all we will install the MRM server, so which will build or which will create a MDM hub server in the backend. So this is the main server out of the three. Okay. Now press OK. Next, accept the license. Now where you want to install, so let's install on the default location, C/MDM hub server, and so this is saying installation directory not imported. That's not a problem, it will override that. And here we need to select the location of the license file. So this license file and this setup file you will get from Informatica MDM. So you have to take a respective setup file and license file. So let's take this. So we have selected the license file, and now let's click on next. Here we can see three application servers are available. So out of three we are using JBoss, right? We have installed JBoss, so let's select JBoss, and here we need to select the JBoss home directory. Choose computer C, and this is the JBoss home directory. Okay, now press next. We have to do the configuration in the standalone mode, so let's take default one. Here let's take the default port. Here let's take a default Oracle database, service name, and here already we have created CMX system dummy user. Okay, so for the time being let me pass the password CMX underscore system and press next. Now the URL is fine. This is saying see Pitna, the master database is not configured. Okay, verify that the master database is configured before starting the hub. So we don't want to install ActiveOS now. Do you want to install Informatica platform? No. No proxy. No, we don't want to run this post install.bat. We run it later. Okay. So let's install only what we say Informatica MDM MRM server, and we can run this post install.bat manually from command prompt. Okay. So let it install, because once it will install, from there we can get the database file and we can create the actual schema. Okay, and then we can, for actual deployment of the hub file and folders, we can use a post install.bat script and we can directly fire on the backend. So here if you have everything is fine, then you can just select like install post installation.bat, yes, and your deployment and this installation will be done at the same time. Okay, so it depends like what files you are having, so accordingly you have to proceed. So here you can see installation has been done successfully, right? Now press done, and now let's come to this JBoss Info MDM directory, hub, server, then come to bin. So from here let's try to create the other viruses. Let's open the command prompt here, and let's try to create first create underscore, sorry, the script is zip underscore and then create underscore virus. Here you can get actual means steps. Okay, so let's in the bracket what value you can see in the bracket. If you want to take it, just press enter. So let's take Oracle, let's take a service, let's take a localhost 1521 warcl as a server name, tns name warcl. We don't want to change, let's know. So we're checking a default, we're taking a default value, right? Here let's take a name of the practice, the virus as a practice. Okay, practice practice. You can give any name, practice, training, development, anything. Okay, so we are taking this as a practice. Now take a password also as a practice. Sorry, practice. Let's take a US language, username sys, and password we had given, remember, system. Right, take a default cmx index. Here you can see this table spaces, because this table spaces we had created, remember it. Okay, so that's why this is showing. So let's default this cmx temp to cmx index dissolve, and here you can see our database installation virus creation is in the process. So just come here. So I told you, like, I will come back here, right? So just I have created just I have executed this script. Now let's try to import the virus. Why? Because let me open this one. Let me open SQL developer. Let me see that it is opening or not. So what the user we have created, we will see that nothing is there inside this. Okay, so there is no metadata tables, no infrastructure tables are there. So for working with this particular practice user, we should have what we say practice virus and something. So let's give here the credential here, like practice, username is also practice, password is also practice, and let's in TNS let's take what we say warcl, and now test it. So here you can see a status is success. Now save it, save this connection and connect. So here if you'll explore this practice, so you'll see no tables are present here, nothing is present here, right? So after creating this virus, we need to import the metadata tables. So for that, just execute the command strip underscore ant and create import virus. Import virus. So this is a user defined virus, so you have to use import virus. Okay. Now let's select here the default options: Oracle, service, then localhost, then 1521, then warcl. No, no, you don't want to change it. Here you need to provide the actual schema name. So we had created a practice, right? So let's provide here practice. Here we need to provide actual password, tic practice. Let's default TNUS, and here let's give the granularity of years, like give a 5. So now here you will see that import of the metadata table has been started. Okay, so once that will be done, then this particular virus will be ready to be used with the Informatica MDM, and we can do work on top of that. Okay, so let's create this first. So here you can see build successful. Now if you refresh it, then you can see many tables here. So you can see many infrastructure tables have been imported. Okay, so that will help you to create many object or to create any tables, mappings, or the stuffs from Informatica MDM console. Okay, so the practice was the schema we have created successfully. Now we need to create a updated CMX system schema, right? Because that will be required. So how to create it? So first of all we need to drop it. Okay, so let me connect with database. Let me connect with Oracle SQL plus no log, and let's connect with a DBA. If I'll try to drop this CMX system, drop user, drop user CMX system, and then cascade, cascade, press enter. So this is saying cannot drop a user which is currently connected. Okay, so this user is currently connected. So for what we say, for dropping this user, we need to we need to restart the database server. Okay, so now go to the services. Let's just restart the services. Let's restart the Oracle services, Oracle DB console ORCL services. Let's restart it. Then the user CMX system is connected, then it will be released. Okay, then we can drop the CMX system and we can create the CMX system fresh from the actual database files what we have received just now. Okay, so this has been restarted. Now we can go and we can try to drop this user SQL plus slash no log, now con plus this as this DBA, right? Now let's try to drop user 1 cascade. Then we can see, so sorry, here we need to drop user CMX system, right? So by mistake I've dropped this user one, so that will not impact, but there is no benefit of dropping this user one. So let's drop CMX system. Okay, let's drop this CMX system. So drop user CMX system cascade. So this is currently connected. So let me do one thing. I think this JBoss is running. So let me stop this JBoss. Let me exit it and let me restart this. Oracle service ORCL. Let's restart it. So it will restart the Oracle service. So maybe this time what the connections that was held by CMX system, that will be released. So this time we would be able to drop this CMX system. Sure. So restarted, done. Let's try. Okay, we need to reconnect. SQL plus / log, then con / cctba. Now drop user CMX system, drop user CMX system, then cascade. So this time you can see now this is dropping. Okay, so we have to drop it. Yeah, the user has been dropped. Now let's again go to this bin location of this Info MDM. Now let's open this command prompt, and now let's try to create what we say CMX system. So how to create CMX system? Write cpont, then create system. For this we need to use create system. Okay, let's use Oracle service. Yeah, name is CMX system. Okay, let's take the default name, localhost 1521 varcl, and here we are going to give a same password, bang bang CMX bang bang. Press enter. Let's take default sys, and here we need to provide the system password, database system password, index temp. So that CMX system created, right? So same like practice, we need to import the metadata tables, right? So how to import metadata for CMX system? Cp_ant. Here the script is just slightly different. So cp_ant import_system. Import_system. Press enter. Take Oracle service. The default value CMX system. Localhost 1521 varcl. Let's give the password of CMX system, bang bang CMX system. Let's take a default value, and here the actual import of the metadata for CMX system has been started, we can see. So now our both the VRSs like CMX system VRS and practice VRS is now updated. Okay, so previously we had just installed what is there. If you are coming here, so yeah, so now here we have created this CMX system, we have created this practice, and we created this sample letter, so that's not a mandatory. Okay, so now here we have installed Informatica MDM. The first part we have installed Informatica MDM hub, but in the B part we are going to what we say, we are going to run post install .bat manually. We had not run it, remember we are selected no, right? So let's take and let's try to run it manually. How to run it? So before it you need to restart your JBoss application. So for restarting the JBoss application, I have made a shortcut like this. Here you can see I am going to this location and then I am firing this same command. Okay, so in place of manually going to this location and manually fire this command, just I have created a bat file, and just double click on this bat file, so this will fire this particular command. Okay, so with the help of this we will see that our JBoss server can easily be started. Okay, so that is started, and now let's go to this location JBoss server here, and let's open the command prompt here. Open the command prompt, and here let's write post install bat manually a script. So write post install setup post install setup .bat -d database .password equal to, for CMX system password what we have given, CMX bang bang CMX, like this, right? So that password you need to pass. Post install setup .bat -d database .password equal to this. Now press enter. So here we can see our post installation bat file is executing in the backend. Now you can see this deployment from this particular JBoss application. So if anything will happen in a positive direction, then we can see some result here. Go to see JBoss 6.4 standalone and go to this deployment. Okay, so if everything will go on the right way, so here we will get something deployed folders, like what the applications will be deployed for this MRM server. So all the applications or file we can see at this location, JBoss standalone deployment. Okay, so let's wait, because here we can see the script is still running, so it will take some time. Let's wait and watch. So this is our command prompt. So this is executing post install that bat, and this is our application server. So any deployment change will happen, we will see that from there, or if you will get any error also, then we can see that. So let's wait, maybe it can take 4 to 5 minutes or 10 minutes as well, but we have to observe. Okay, don't pause it, we have to see it manually what the things is happening. So here you can see some deployment has been started. Here you can see some file is in the is deploying mode. Okay, so it will automatically deploy all the files. So if the files will be deployed successfully, then we'll get file deployed. Otherwise you will get option like the deployment failed if any wrong thing will happen. Okay, so no worry, if anything will fail, then we'll try to redeploy it after having a look on the logs. Okay, most of the time it script gets failed here. Okay, so you have no need to worry if your script is failing. Just here you can see your script is got failed. So let's wait for this Saperian MRM here, what is happening. So if this is failed, now let's go to this what is it, now go to this Info MDM hub server, and then you can see here logs, and go to post install.log. let's try to see if anything we can get. So from here till now we don't have any update, so we cannot get any information from here. Can we get something from install.bat? From here also we are not able to find any error, so let's see the error, because from here we can see like in deployments some script has been failed, this has also failed. Okay, so of course we need to rerun, some error has happened. So let it be completed, then only we can see the actual logs, because from here we are not able to see the log. So once that will be completed, then we can see log from here. So let me pause it for some time. Yeah, so hello friends, so let's try to restart the installation. So from here I have uninstalled it, what the Informatica MDM we have installed. So here you can see, you cannot see any Informatica MDM hub, so I have installed it from here. So I'm trying to clear all the things, and I'm trying to install Informatica MDM from fresh. So already we have a database server and Oracle and a JBoss server. So from JBoss here, try to remove this log also, and here you will see a data folder and temp folder. Try to remove this and try to remove the content from here. Okay, so now you are ready to install this Informatica MDM from scratch. So now all the things are free. Now let's try one more time. Let's come to the setup file. INIDA server now have installed. So let's try this time. So earlier maybe problem we were getting, like see, we had used CMX system, the dummy user, at the time of installation of Informatica MDM. Remember it, okay? So maybe it did not had enough kind of, and also we had received one message, right? Like CMX system had not been fully configured. So maybe due to this our script got failed. So what we have done now, after extracting this info MDM, we have created our fresh schema, like we have created practice and CMX system, right? And now we are going to use the CMX system fresh schema in the Informatica MDM installation, and from backend I have uninstalled this Informatica MDM. Okay, so now our schema has been created in database, that is saved, and if I have installed this Informatica MDM, so it will not impact on the schema because that will be saved in database, right? So I have installed it, and from JBoss also I have removed the respective files and folders what I told you, and from scratch now we are going to try one more time. So mostly we face the issue at this step itself. Okay, all the steps are very straightforward, like all the steps of database and application servers. So those all are very easy, but we always face the issue at this step itself. So we have to try again and again. So the earlier issue we can understand that maybe due to the CMX system dummy user, right? That was not actual CMX system schema. We had created a very, with the help of very simple script, right? Create user CMX system identified by this, like this, right? So maybe due to this we had received that error. So let's try installing it from fresh. Now click on OK. Next, accept info MDM. Let's not import it, that's not a problem, it will overwrite it. Let's take a license file that will be provided by MDM, sorry, Informatica. JBoss, let's select the JBoss home directory. So this is JBoss home directory, like a standalone default. Oh sorry, so before this we need to start the JBoss, right? So we have not started it, so that's not a problem. Just now also we can start. So let's start the JBoss. So before installation JBoss should run, so we had not started it, so that's not a problem. Just now also we can start. So now that has been started, so now if you press OK and if you press next, so now this is taking, right? Oracle service, and here let's take bang bang CMX bang bang. So earlier we had taken this same username and password, but on that time that username and password we had created from simple script, not from MDM script, right? So that is the difference. So we don't want active viewers this time. No Informatica MDM platform, no proxy, and yes, run this post installation at the same time. So it will do the deployment also at the same time. Okay, so now click on this install. So first it will install Informatica MDM like we had seen earlier, and then it will run the post install.bat. So what the post install.bat we had run with the help of manual post installer script, so that will be fired automatically. Here you can see, and let's see, open this file location deployment folder, so that if any positive thing can happen, then we can see from here. So all the deployment will come at this location itself. Okay, so let's wait and watch. So this time Informatica MDM is installing. So once this will install, then actual deployment will happen. So we don't face any issue here at the time of installation of Informatica MDM like this. We will not face any error. It will be installed very straightforward, very simply. Okay, but once the post install.bat script will run, with the help of that we do the actual deployment like this script. So we get the error mostly at this step most of the time. Okay, so here this is executing post install.bat, and we had executed that earlier from backend. Okay, so now that has been automatically fired because you had selected yes, run the post install.bat. So that's why this is running. Okay, so now let's wait. If any deployment will happen, then we can see in this deployment folder. So, and also we can see the logs from the JBoss. So here it takes 4 to 5 minutes if everything will go on right way, 5 to 10 minutes. And if any failure will happen, then it can take a more time, because at the time of failure it retries to run the script. Okay, so in that case it can take more time in case of failure. So after failure, once it will get some error, so it will retry. Okay, so we can see that once deployment will start, we can see from the standalone deployment folder. So now we can see some change in the log is starting, so deployment has started. And in the deployment folder, here you can see we are able to see some is deploying folder for the Informatica MDM platform. So if it will be successfully deployed, then you will see that deployed, otherwise it will say that failed, same like earlier. So let's see, we are hoping that this time everything should go on the right way. Yeah, so we can see Informatica MDM platform is deployed. Now it is deploying Informatica MRM. Okay, so this is the actual file in Siberian MRM. So this will actually contain the Informatica MDM hub. Okay, so this is the main file. So if this will be deployed, then we will be able to access Informatica MDM console. Okay, so I think everything is right on this time. So we are supposed to get deployed. Siberian MRM is supposed to get deployed. So this is in deploying now. So actually, due to some environmental error, environmental differences, environmental problems, we get a problem at this step. But if all the set of files we have properly, and if you are following the steps properly, and if you are doing the installation from scratch, so in this time, that time you don't get any error. So that will be installed means properly. But since already I have installed this Informatica MDM many times on this server, just I'm uninstalling it and just I'm installing it, so that's why also I'm getting the error. So but if you will do the fresh installation and you will follow the steps, so most of the time you'll see that you'll not face any error at this step also. But if you'll miss any step, then it will be very difficult for us to debug. So when I was doing the installation of this in my local system, So here you can see the good news is that this Hyperion MRM ER has been deployed. So that was the main folder, okay. So that was the main day one. So that was deployed successfully. So we can expect that all the things will be deployed successfully. Now we can hope. So now the thing will be completed within a minute or 2 minutes. So that Hyperion MRM was very important to be, that should be deployed successfully. Okay. So when we were learning this installation, on that time we had wasted our 10 days, 15 days of the time to debug the installation bugs. Okay, so once you get any bug, it will be very difficult to debug. So please try to follow the steps very carefully and try it. So here you can see we have installed Informatica MDM successfully, because here we can see all the folders are deployed. We cannot see any error, right? So that's good. Here also we can see the Informatica MDM hub server successfully installed. Done. So now if you try to access Informatica MDM hub from this URL, we know that this is the URL, right? Localhost 8080 CMX, like this. Now press enter. So once your installation will be done successfully, then you will be able to see this screen. If any bad thing will happen, then you cannot see this screen. Okay. So from here also we can see that all the files have been deployed successfully. So that's why we are able to see this screen. Once we are hitting this URL, then it is showing the actual Informatica MDM console. Okay. Now let's press here and let's try to open the console. Make sure your JBoss is running. Don't try to cross this JBoss. Okay. So it should run always. Let's give a username as admin and password also as admin. So here you don't have any worries, so we are able to connect. So that's fine. So means we have installed the Informatica MDM successfully. That's why we are able to see this all. Okay. So we had created a practice virus, right? So let's try to register that virus here so that we can work on top of that. Click plus Oracle service, and here let's write a practice virus. Okay. Now in host name, let's take as a host name localhost. Service, let's take ORCL. Sorry, ORCL. And TNS name, let's take a ORCL itself. A schema name, let's take a practice we had taken, right? PRCTIC practice. Password also we had taken same, and keep this as blank. Now test this credential from here, so everything is fine. Now finish it. So that has been registered successfully. This virus we can see from here. We can test from here, so that is testing successfully. Now let's try to connect with the practice. Then we are connected with practice. So if you want to create some landing table or anything else, you can create it from here. So just take a right lock, create a landing table like add item. Let's give like L underscore suppose GMP you are going to create. Okay. So here you can see the table, right? From here you can add the columns also, like you need a suppose GMP ID, if you need a EMP name, right? then save it, and you can see this table from backend. Okay, so let's connect to SQL Developer. Let's see that this table, what the table we have created, that is reflecting in database or not. So just open a SQL Developer. Now let's open this practice. Now open tables, and here you can see the tables, what the table we had created. Okay, and here you can see the columns. Okay, so now we are able to, we have installed it successfully. And one more thing we need to install, that is a clean mesh server. So now let's install this MRM clean mesh server. So if you will not install it, and if you try to run a stage job, or here also you can see, like if you come to process server, and if I'm adding this process server like localhost, and if I'm pressing OK, so if I'll test it, then I'll get an error. Now here we are getting the error in connecting. Okay, so once we will install it, then we will not be see any error. So we know that once we run any stage job, so this process server will be required, right? So that's why we need to install this clean mesh server. So these two are mandatory. This clean mesh and MRM is mandatory. This resource kit is not mandatory. So if you want, you can install, otherwise you can skip this also. Okay, so let's press OK. So these two steps are these two installations are simple, so there will not be any chances to failure. Okay, so this will be easily what we say installed. This will never fails. Most of the time this will never fail. So let's take the default directory. So this is not empty, so we'll overwrite it. Let's select the license file location. Now let's select the JBoss. Now let's select the JBoss home directory. Take a JBoss 6.4 standalone default, no, run push install. So you'll see that that will be installed without any error. So it does not fail. So there is no complexity within this. So once it will install, then here we can see a clean something clean ER file that will be deployed once that will be installed. And what the error we are getting here for testing. So once that will be installed, we will not see error. So let's wait for 2 minutes. So now the post install will run, so that will deploy the clean mesh server on the application server. So these two steps are very simple for clean mesh server and for resource keep. Only we get the issue at the MRM server installation. So here we can see installation done successfully, and here one here Informatica MDM, where which one is the cleanse server provisioning. Yeah, Superior MRM cleanse, this file has been deployed, you can see. Okay, so we don't want to restart, we'll restart it later. And now if we'll test this, so just save it and now try to test it. So here you can see this is succeeded. Okay, so earlier we don't had the cleanse my server, that's why it was failing. So now that is succeeded. Okay, now let's try to understand how to install this resource kit. So just find create a schema. I want to see the create databases a script. So for that we do use a create underscore a schema. Why this is not available? Sample Informatica sample properties file, sample operational reference store. This is not. Yeah, resource kit. So for that we need to go to this location, then we need to run this create ORS. In window we need to run cpant create ORS, right? Setting up the MDM hub sample ORS, and then we need to provide these details. Then we need to run this import schema. Okay, so here at the time of import, here we need to write import schema. Okay, that is only one difference. So let's create it also, let's complete this also. So let's go to this, let's go to MDM hub, let's go to MDM hub home directory. So where you have installed in C info MDM hub server. Okay, so come to this directory, now come to bin and now open the command prompt. Okay, now we are trying to create a sample ORS. For that write a cpant, and this script is same, create underscore ORS itself. Let's select Oracle service localhost 1521 ORCL no, and here let's give a name as a sample ORS. Password also let's give this as a sample ORS. Default sys, and here this is system index temp. So now here sample ORS will be created. Now we need to import this respective infrastructure tables in this sample underscore ORS. So for that we have a command like zip underscore ant and import underscore system, import underscore schema. This is the command. Oracle service localhost 1521 ORCL no. So here we need to give, we have taken a name as a sample underscore ORS. Password we have taken a sample underscore ORS. ENUS, take a default one. So here it will import all the tables of the sample ORS in the sample ORS schema, because once we'll go for installation of resource kit, it will ask like which schema you want to make as a sample. So that's why we are making this. So let's update this installation steps. Yeah, so we have created this one with the help of this. We have created practice, and sample we have created like with the help of create underscore ORS, and then for import we have used kind of zip underscore ant, then import underscore schema. Okay, so this is the script we have used for these three different schema. So that this will help us to install the resource kit. Okay, and these all the steps already we have completed. So after MRM server we have installed this what we say, we have installed CleanMath server already, we have installed, right? Now we are in the process of installing the resource kit. That was the third set of file, resource kit. Okay, that is the third and last. Fine. Second, that is second, and that is third. Okay, so we are in the process of completing this. So for that we have already creating the schema. So it is running. It will take some time. Let's try to create the connection for this in the backend. So let's try, we already have the CMX system MDM sample. Let's try to remove this, or let's try to change the property of this. So let me take here sample underscore ORS. Here also sample ORS. You can take any name as per your comfort. There is no kind of hard and fast rule. This is success. Save it and save it. Now connect. So here this is still running, so it will take some time. So once you'll explore this, not this, we have created this one, right? So here you'll see many tables will be created, many metadata tables will be created, and some user defined tables also will be created. So here we will have a different sample mapping, stage table, landing table. So here we will have a complete sample project, okay, in the sample schema. So this is still running. Once this will be completed, then we can go for the resource kit installation. So here we have to install three applications, three setup file: MRM server, CleanMath server, and resource kit. Okay, inside the Informatica MDM. So this is importing the tables. So guys, if you have want to go through with this Informatica MDM training, then you can contact on these numbers, okay, or you can send a mail to on this, or if you have any doubt regarding this installation, then you can drop your queries in the YouTube videos. We will try to revert it back. So let me pause it for some time. So here you can see the script has been completed. So now sample ORS has been created. Now you can go for the resource kit installation. So open it, just click on this. So for that we should have a sample ORS ready. Otherwise, if you not have a sample ORS, then it will throw error. Okay, keep in mind. So if you try to map other ORSs, then it will throw error. So try to create a sample ORS with the help of cpont create ORS, and try to import what we say create a schema. Cpont into import underscore schema. So try to use that. So let's keep these installation steps separately. That will be useful, right? So let's save it. Now press OK. Let's install it. So it will be installed very soon. Next, accept license. Select all these. So it will select what you say, all the sample codings. Resource key not empty, not a problem. Overwrite it. Configure sample JBoss. Here let's select the JBoss home directory. Then next, standalone, default. Here we need to provide the Informatica MDM password. So this is admin. Default we are taking admin. And here you need to select the, okay, so we have, I think we have not registered this what the virus you had created, we have not registered it, so that's why we are not able to see it. So let's register this virus in the MDM. Quad log plus, so here let's give a sample virus name we are given, then ORCL, sorry, database name is a localhost, then this is a ORCL, right? DNS name is also ORCL, the schema name is a sample underscore ORS, password is also same. Now do next, test it, done, finish. So this is registered now. Can test it, the testing fine. Now come to previous, and from here now you can see sample virus is also available. Okay, so try to select the sample virus. Now select next. Yes, run the PostScript.bat, install it, and this is the final step. So if this time you will connect with the sample virus like this one, then if you are coming to a schema, then here you can see many tables have been created, right? Because that table was got imported once we had executed like C point import a schema. Okay, so on that time Visual object has been imported. So now this will deploy all this content on the application server so that we can use it. So this is done, right? So finally we have completed our installation of Informatica MDM. 100% installation we have completed. So let's recap it. So first of all we have installed Oracle database 11G. Then we had installed different table spaces, 3 table spaces. Then we are supposed to create this one, but we don't have the database file. So just we had created a dummy user CMS system, and then directly we had jumped from this step to the application server installation. Okay, here. So in application server, first of all we had installed this JBoss 6.4. Then we had override some properties of these two properties file inside JBoss. Then we had run this JBoss with the help of this command, and after running we tried this MRM server to install. So first time it got failed, so second time we uninstalled it, and we created the virus. Once we extracted it, then from this we created a schema from fresh. This is a schema we created, what the things we had kept on the fold. Okay, and after creating, then we again uninstall it, and then we try to install it, and we try to run the post install.bat on the same time, so that got succeeded. Then we install clean mesh server. Then we created a sample virus with the help of this script. Okay, and then we install the resource kit. So all the things are done. So we are 100% done with the Informatica MDM 10.1 installation. So if you'll come to this, so from here you can see the version history. So this is showing there 10.1. This is the build number, release number 10.1. So this is the 10.1 Informatica MDM has been installed. Okay. So just you have to integrate the three applications: database server, application server, and Informatica MDM. So most of the time we do get the error at the time of MDM hub installation. So be very careful and don't panic. If you are getting the error, then try it after reverting it. Okay. So hope you enjoyed this session, and if you have any query, then try to get in touch and try to give your comment and try to subscribe this, so that if I'll create any video, then you can get the automatic update. Thanks for watching.